All right, it is time for the behind-the-scenes weather model discussion here for Wednesday, November the 9th. How's it going, everyone? William Cole here in the Storm Studio. And again, hopefully your Wednesday is going well. We're all on the downhill slide now heading into the weekend. That is always a good thing. Of course, this is the behind-the-scenes look at how we're putting together the forecast of the day. We're going to be showing you the raw data coming up here momentarily that, again, we've carefully been sifting through. This is something we typically put on our social media. So again, if you're watching it there, again, be sure to give us a like. Feel free to leave us a comment. Let us know where you're watching from, whatever it is. Also want to say thank you to our Patreon subscribers. They make this segment, this bonus content possible. Patreon.com/WeatherTrackerTV. Again, for just $2.99 per month. That also helps to support our channel and our mobile app as well. Again, if you like our products, watch our channel, feel free to sign up there and again, become a Weather Tracker TV supporter. Again, for just $2.99 per month. We do appreciate that. So with that being said, I tell you what, we've got a lot to talk about today because again, we are tracking this big cool down, and really it's not a cool down for this time of year. This is a chill down that's on the way, and the data coming in today is a little bit chillier. And also there's going to be some precipitation opportunities as well. And this time of year, when you start talking about chilly air coming in and precipitation, it's all about the timing. And could we maybe even get in North Texas some of the timing to be just right enough that maybe we even have some wintry precipitation on the way. So again, there's a lot to talk about. Again, if you like cold weather, if you like, again, chillier stuff, you're going to like this forecast. If you've been waiting for a taste of some cooler weather, like maybe for a weekend, and then we warm back up to our typical Texas fall, you're not in luck because this is going to be prolonged. In fact, this is going to be potentially even over the next 14 days. So we've got a lot of chilly weather on the way. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into this. There's a live shot. We're just going to start from downtown Dallas. And again, you can see all the morning stratus cloud, right? The low gray cloud cover, the fog that we've been dealing with the last several mornings. Today that lifted, it burned off quickly. And in fact, we've really been enjoying quite a bit of sun. And because of that, the temperatures have really bounced out there. In fact, at last look, we're still at 82. I had forecasted 80. That's what most of the data was showing again earlier this morning. But again, just with the abundant sun, I mean, we really jumped those temperatures. And again, 82 right now, it's not even 3 p.m. It's about 2:50 as we're making this video, so we still have time. Could we maybe even add another degree or two again to that reading? Not impossible. We'll also be fairly warm, not quite as warm, but fairly warm tomorrow as well. And then, like I mentioned, the bottom falls out and 80s will be a thing of the past. Let's look at our local numbers here too. And again, you can just see across North Texas, generally most locations right around 80 with an 81 at Dallas Love Field. We'll take a quick peek at temps, then winds, and then we'll truly get on with it here. And again, 10 to right around 15 miles per hour. It is that southeasterly wind coming up from the Gulf of Mexico that continues to push that Gulf of Mexico moisture, this maritime moisture into the area. So because it's so thick out there and we still have so much humidity, dew point numbers are high, even tomorrow we're going to have some fog around similar to this morning. And again, a lot of that low grade stratus cloud cover will build back in before things really begin to evolve by late tomorrow, Thursday. So here's a look at the visible satellite imagery. And again, you can see all of this cloud cover again shifting from south to north, again, just streaming in, right? I mean, you can see it there with your own eyes. That's Gulf of Mexico moisture, again, just fluxing into the area. And then again, you can also see this other motion coming in from the west. That is our upper level storm system that truly is going to be well to our north. The upper level storm system is not even going to move through North Texas, but it is pushing a pretty significant front into the area. You know what? You can actually just make it out. Let me show you this. At the very top of the screen of the regional temperatures, you can see all that blue in Nebraska moving into Kansas. That's the front that's inbound. And like I mentioned, and I know that's not a great presentation of it, but you can kind of make out the blues. That is truly where the front is now late this afternoon or here at mid-afternoon. And again, the timing on this has moved up just a little bit, that it appears as though late Thursday evening into the night, that front will be moving through the area. I think there's going to be a bit of a rain chance, could even be a little bit of thunder in our northwestern counties now also tomorrow evening. So a few forecast details are beginning to change that again we'll continue to talk about too over the next few minutes. But here's a look at the upper air chart, and this is truly where that storm is, right? You can see the big dip, and here it is out here. So again, just on that last shot when we were looking at the visible satellite, you could see some of that cloud motion curving around this. The jet stream is streaking around on the bottom, that disturbance, right? But the main trough, the path of it is actually going to be well to the north, but what it's doing, it's going to be tapping into some Canadian air, and truly this is modified Arctic air. In fact, it's probably not really even that modified. This is really just some Arctic air that is in southwestern Canada. There's some readings up there, even at noon, when we were on the air at noon, -15 air temperatures in southwestern Canada, -15, right? Obviously that cold of air, not that cold of air, is not going to make it down into parts of North Texas, but the bottom line is we've got some chilly stuff on the way, and we're going to reload it a couple times. Again, I'll show you that coming up momentarily. But the opportunity of active weather today, I'll show you the convective outlooks real quick, then we'll really move on with it. It's down in the Florida Peninsula. Number one, of course, we've got Nicole moving in down there. Tropical storm most likely will come up to Hurricane 1 status and make landfall in Florida, then come up through the Florida Panhandle. Will be a big weather maker down there. Not a high-end hurricane, but when you're dealing with a lot of rain and you're dealing with wind gusts, or really sustained winds, anywhere from 70. She may come up to Hurricane 1, so maybe 74 plus mile per hour winds sustained, for a couple hours. Yeah, you can cause some problems, right? So this won't be high-end stuff, but it's not going to be pretty either as that moves on. And then for tomorrow, as that big upper level storm system moves through the Corn Belt, you can see from Wisconsin back down into parts of Iowa, the Corn Belt, all the way down in Missouri, an opportunity of severe weather there. Then also you can see there, essentially from the Florida coast up into the Carolinas. Again, that's going to be Nicole, right? Kind of pinwheeling up the coast. Opportunity of severe weather in any of those locations. A little bit of general thunder drawn, the light green general thunder drawn down into North Texas. And I do think we'll have a thunderstorm or two late tomorrow, again, especially in our northwestern counties. I'll show you that. And then again, up towards the mid-Atlantic, similar story. It all has to do with Nicole. And again, as that front continues to push through Texas, again, the following day, again, you see that opportunity of maybe some thunder down along the Rio Grande Valley. Again, outside of that, most of the nation turning cold, unusually cold for this time of year. And again, as far as convective weather, meaning thunderstorm activity, it's going to be squashed down quite a bit across most of the nation over, the next couple weeks or maybe even longer. Okay, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into this. And we asked you yesterday if you wanted us to spend more time just on the model data or kind of the setup. So we're trimming the setup just a little bit. And so we're giving you kind of a more zoomed in view. We didn't mean to use that, but more of a zoomed in view of the model data here. So we'll spend more time on this and not kind of the overall setup, right? So what we're starting with here is the 500 millibar chart, similar to what we were just looking at moments ago when I showed you the big storm trough, right? The big dip that's now moving through the Intermountain West. This is what we call the European model, the Euro. This is my choice, my preference of model. Just when you average out all the models, it's the highest performing medium range model, right? We'll still look at the high res data. The high res data goes out about 48 to 60 hours. We kind of fine tune everything with that last, okay? What we're going to be doing now is looking through the general setup and again showing you any air mass change, and again also we'll show you any precipitation signals as well. But what all that means basically, kind of in layman's terms, watch this storm trough, right? This is going to be storm number 1 that's going to be coming out as we go over the next 24 to 48 hours. There it is. You see it moving through the Intermountain West. There it is moving through the northern plains, but again, remember, as those things spin counterclockwise at the surface, you still get that northwesterly component on the back of it. That's what's going to drive that front down into our area, right? So even though that storm is well to our north, it's going to be driving that chillier air down into our area at the surface, again, spinning around northwesterly on the back of it. So that moves out, right? We're chilly, but then take a look at this. Right on the heels of that for this upcoming Monday, you can see that next ball of energy, what we call an area of vorticity, then turning into a trough as it moves where? Directly across North Texas. That will be an opportunity of rain. Maybe in the region, could even be some wintry weather, okay, in the region, not necessarily in North Texas, but maybe there's a couple signals up along the Red River that maybe we could have some wintry weather. I'll show you that. That pulls away, and then look what we have. We have one more low, slow storm that comes in as well, and we also have a storm trough with really chilly air coming in. And I tell you what, in about 10 days, and this is the very newest data, in about 10 days, we need to watch it. Now, again, 10 days out, this is all going to continue to change and evolve. But I'm just saying, on this snapshot we're looking at right now, we may begin to get some signals that we could even potentially have some wintry weather in North Texas. Okay, so let me go and show you the air mass change next, right? This is when we're looking for frontal boundaries. This is just off the surface. This is what we call the 850 millibar series, and I'll run you through time, right? Again, over the next 10 days. Here comes our cold front for late tomorrow. And again, you can see all that Canadian / modified Arctic air coming out of southwestern Canada. You can see that big plume right there coming down into the northern plains. Okay, it makes it the true chilly air, makes it all the way down to the Oklahoma-Kansas border, but the front that still has some pretty chilly stuff with it, you can see that makes it all the way down to the Gulf Coast, the greens, right? Okay, so there goes one big trough, again lifting that chilly air. Again, you can see really through parts of the Midwest, the Great Lakes, over through the Mid-Atlantic, up through the Northeast, they're turning cold. Here comes that next trough through, and what happens? We get a reinforcing surge of chillier air coming down. The chilliest air makes it even a little bit further into North Texas. You see more in the way of light blues, okay? We go forward in time. Here comes another surge of chilly air down. This looks even stronger, the chilliest air of all. And then again, also at that same time, we have that next wave, that next Pacific wave coming out as well. Okay, so we're kind of tying all that together. Let me go ahead and show you precipitation, and then we'll put actual numbers with those air temperatures, right? How cold is cold? We're going to show you that coming up. But let's just run you through precip. And again, there's the opportunity tomorrow. Now, remember, within the first 48 to 60 hours, we're going to come back to this, right? Because we'll look at real high-res data. What we're looking at now, this is not a future radar product. And I say this all the time. If you've heard me say it, just for the people who may not watch this segment or are new to this segment, this is a snapshot of 6 hours. Where could we maybe have precipitation? It's just a general thinking. We call this a signal, right? So again, this global model is giving us a signal that tomorrow we're going to have some scattered showers around, and maybe late tomorrow we may have a few rumbles of thunder in our northwestern counties, and then showers on Friday, again after the front moves through the area. But again, we'll tie that together with the actual future radar coming up momentarily. Okay, so that moves on through, and then here comes that next system, right, for Monday. Okay, we're chilly. The true chilly weather is up in Oklahoma, our Texas panhandle. So we're getting, with this one, we're getting a cold rain. Again, the way it looks now, right? None of this is matter of fact yet. The high res stuff over 48 hours, we can normally tie in pretty well. This has been pretty consistent at showing a wet Monday. The storm system looks significant enough that, I mean, it's more than likely it's going to happen. I've got it at a 50% probability. But the thing we always have to keep in the back of our mind when we're looking at computer model data, this can it can flip. It can do a 180, right? It can be completely different in 12 hours. So what we look for is consistency, meaning each and every run, is it looking similar and similar and similar, and that's when you build your forecast confidence. So always remember that we're looking at this with a grain of salt. None of this is locked in for sure, but this Monday is looking pretty consistent, right? And also it's looking pretty consistent that out in our Texas panhandle, out along Interstate 40, there could be some snow. And again, even for friends, family, like up in Oklahoma City, there could be a wintry mix up there. In fact, there could even be some freezing rain up there, okay? But it's in the area, right? I mean, we're talking about 3 hours north of OKC. It's in the area, okay? So then we dry out after that, and this is what the newest data, this is new today, is that we have that next storm system coming in, right? We have the chilly air arriving, and then here comes that next storm system out of the Pacific. I'm showing you this, again, keep in mind this is the first signal we've had of this. This was not here earlier today or even yesterday, but with this latest run, what's happening? We have the opportunity of some freezing rain and maybe even some snow in our northwestern counties with even a bit of an ice line there. Okay, so don't take that to the bank, don't take that to Vegas. This could be gone by tomorrow morning, but the deal is we're turning cold. That part is locked in. And again, we can say cold, it is turning cold. and we're going to have some opportunities of precipitation to come in, right? So we know our daytime highs are generally speaking going to be in the 50s, but it's those morning lows, right? Because keep in mind, even to get a few snowflakes, you don't have to be at 32, right? And even for our northern counties up along the Red River Valley, who may at times even be flirting with the freezing mark, if we get some precip to come in, not impossible to even get some freezing rain, other dynamics like that. So just little things to keep in the back of our mind. Right now, none of this truly sticks out as though, yes, that is for sure what we're going to see. Okay, so I just want to put a little bit of an asterisk on that. I want to show you the temperature numbers, then we'll look at the high-res future radar modeling for tomorrow. Okay, so 77 tomorrow. I mean, tomorrow's our last warm day, right? What I'm showing you is the blend of models. This takes all the model data together, combines it, weights it, plugs in the high-res data, and then spits this out. This is an inset product from the National Weather Service. I mean, all the runs have been consistent for the last week. I mean, we're going to be in the lower 50s. I mean, generally speaking, those are our daytime highs. Some morning lows will be in the 30s. On Sunday morning, I think a lot of folks, I don't think in the Metroplex, it's really hard because remember, the official reporting station at DFW or Love Field, it's hard to get those right below freezing unless you truly get a big burst of cold air, right? You kind of have that urban heat effect, especially over here at Love Field. So, 33, 34 maybe officially in the Metroplex, but again, the surrounding areas, even like Denton, even like McKinney, places like that, you may have your first freeze of the season. Our friends off to the north up near the Red River Valley, a freeze by sunrise Sunday morning looks pretty likely. So if you have any kind of tender vegetation, things that may be impacted by that, again, please do keep that in mind. And of course, that would even refer to your outdoor sprinklers and such as well. And then you can see even by the end of next week, we're going to have several mornings, 35, 34, 34. You start getting it within that range. And again, that far out, again, we'll still be tweaking those numbers. The general takeaway from this is we're going to be close to or maybe even having a series of light freezes in or around the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. So yes, for this time of year, we're definitely turning cold. And again, you can see those daytime highs definitely looking chilly as well. So let me go and show you this. And this is the high-res data. I always have to lean in on this to even find this. As small as it looks on your screen, it's even smaller on mine. And I want to take this out to the 48-hour view here. And this is future radar, right? So this is the high resolution rapid refresh model, what we call the HRR model or the HRRR model. And so again, we were getting the signal from the global model that, hey, we're probably going to at least potentially, have some precipitation in the area late tomorrow, Thursday, and into Friday. Okay, so that's just the signal. So now we're going to drill down. We have a 48-hour window where this data goes out to. What does the computer, the high-res computer, think is going to happen, right? So as that front arrives, again, we're dry tonight, we're dry for most of the day tomorrow. Here comes the front cutting through Oklahoma. You can see that there on your screen. There's late day. This is going to be right around, let me find the time on here. This is going to be right around 8 to 9 p.m. You can see maybe up along the Red River Valley, a couple thunderstorms develop up there by late day. And then here comes the front. Again, the timing on the front, this is midnight. There's 1, 2, 3 in the morning. So now as opposed to very early, closer to sunrise Friday, it's now looking as though it may be like 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. in the morning. Again, Friday morning, 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. in the morning, the front may be moving through, right? So pre-dawn, before sunrise. Scattered showers possible in the morning. You see that right there. There's 6 a.m. Even for the morning commute, there could still be a few showers around. And then as we continue to roll this through time, what happens later in the day, again, even by around noon, some additional showers are possible as well. So we may even be, I'm telling you, with this latest run of the data, I've got a 40% opportunity on Monday. We may even need to bump it up more, right? Because I mean, it's just looking, and again, this is light precip. This is not heavy rain. This is not a big weather maker. We're not anticipating severe weather. Could there be a couple rumbles of thunder? Not impossible. This is mainly going to be rain, and especially later in the day on Monday, that's mainly going to be kind of a chilly rain. Or later in the day Friday. I'm sorry, later in the day Friday. This is why I'm drinking coffee today. We've just been so busy this week. I don't want to confuse you. Again, we're talking about Friday, not Monday. Obviously, we have an opportunity of rain on Monday as well, just to clarify. But again, on Friday, again, it's looking wetter and wetter. So of course, we've got Friday night football, all those things. As folks are trying to plan and plan accordingly for that. again, things could be damp on Friday. That's just kind of the bottom line. This ends Friday right around 1 p.m. So that's all the data we have. That's all the high-res data. As we get deeper into today, tonight, and then first thing tomorrow morning, we'll have more data to kind of base that off of. Let's look at one other thing. We can also look at the, this will be the 3-kilometer data from the NAM. And this is the North American model, the high-res version of it. I'm not as big of a fan, right? Okay, we're going to look at it. We'll see what this shows, but I'm not as big of a fan here. There are certain situations. If you start getting into true winter weather, this typically performs okay with true winter weather. Outside of that, use it with a grain of salt, right? Similar story, 2 to 3. There's the front coming through. You can see a few showers. That right there looks about right so far. It doesn't do well. It does. It still develops some scattered showers, but it's a little bit further off to the east. Okay, and this goes out to 60 hours, by the way. So this will take us a little bit further. Again, this keeps everything south and then east of the Metroplex. If I was betting, I would not bet on that yet. What we were looking at previously with the high resolution rapid refresh, the HER model, that would most likely be a little more accurate. But again, it just goes out to 48 hours. We have no more data with it yet, right? So just like everyone else, now we're kind of playing the waiting game. But the bottom line is, again, Friday could be looking just a little bit wetter. So right now we're keeping that 40% shot in there, but we may need to tweak it and move it up a little bit. Again, Monday I've got a 50% probability. With most of the newest data coming in, we can probably begin to move that Monday probability up just a little bit. But the deal with Monday, it looks pretty light, right? So it looks like drizzle, a very light rain. So a lot of times in those situations, I don't typically move to like 90 or 100% because it's just kind of damp, it's kind of drizzly, it's kind of wet. That 60 to 70% probability in those situations typically takes care of that. So we're still watching Monday, but we'll probably slowly but surely begin to move that on up. So that's where we are, folks. Again, like I mentioned, we try to kind of stick with the model data a little bit more. We've only been doing this for a couple weeks. Again, this is just our bonus content that we put on social media, so we're still playing with the format a little bit. But again, we're going to try and keep it more weather model data, and then we'll kind of set it up with a few of the other products. And we're trying to still make these a little bit shorter, even though this one was still 22 minutes. We're trying to cut these down to like 10 or 15 minutes, but I just don't think there's enough time to do them unless we really just hammer it out quite a bit faster. But then it's almost pointless, right? Because you're not getting kind of the full narrative of what's going on. Hey, one last thing here. If you have not downloaded our free Weather Tracker TV mobile app, be sure to do that today. Again, it is a free download with all this active weather coming on. It's an easy way for you to, number one, watch our channel. Again, we've got my 12-day forecast is always on there, live radar, breaking weather alerts, everything local North Texas weather you need is on there. Again, Apple iTunes Store, Google Play Store, everything is there. And again, also don't forget patreon.com Weather Tracker TV. Again, if you do want to become a Patreon subscriber, again, for just $2.99 per month, feel free to do that. Obviously, again, we appreciate our current subscribers that we have as well. So otherwise, again, thanks for joining us today for the behind-the-scenes weather model discussion. We'll do it again tomorrow. We typically do these right about 2:45 to 3 p.m. in the afternoon, so be sure to watch for them then. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday.